them. Do you know, at work, somebody was making this noise all day. And I couldn't stop thinking of Lala, because that's what he sounds like when he purrs.
We did that to him the other day, and he ran upstairs from our bed and was like...
Oh, like a little, like purry.
He doesn't meow, he goes...
It's the comfort noise.
Herding.
Yeah.
Herding us. Right. Adventurers. 6 months have passed since you all have been...
Died.
Killed. Yeah. No. Since you all have been all together in each other's company. Now, of course, it is common for you guys to meet up just as friends, as individuals, to contact each other. So you're not entirely out of clue of what you guys have been doing. But, you know, for a full, all of you meeting, it's been a long time. But luckily, there is an adventure hook, you could say, which has brought you 5, along with some NPCs, I wonder who, all together again. As, well, all of you are summoned for a, well, it's not explicitly explained or explicitly named, but an official ceremony at what was formerly Eldrelith's.
Yeah, what happened to Pico?
And what happened to all of that? Well, it's kind of still in someone's bag of holding. But anyway. All of you...
It can't still be in Cass's bag of holding. Surely she didn't go off to the Fey realm with...
No, you gave it to, was it Bluey before you left? I think you gave it to Bluey.
We'll say we did. Actually, no, I feel like in game we didn't. And then when we met for the first babies, then Cass will have been like, "Oh shit, here's Pico, by the way." Like, totally forgot.
That book. That's...
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So you are summoned to an emergency meeting, ceremony of some description at what was formerly Eldrelith's. All of you, except of course Cass, don't worry.
The rapper formerly known as Ultras.
All of you, no matter where you are, receive this missive. And that's my first question to you guys. Cass, we'll sort you out in a minute. Where are you when you receive this letter? Where have you been? Where are you, maybe like, say, the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks? Where have you been? Should we start with Neff? Just a brief answer is fine.
Okay. She might still be traveling with Bluey at this point.
Sure.
Looks
so you guys are together when you receive your letters.
Yep, here.
Are you in Melas? Are you in another part of the world?
I think that'll be up to Bluey.
Might be something like Kalkan.
Kalkan, oh sick, okay.
We might have already visited a few of the temples.
Wonderful.
Including memories made and remade at the Winter Palace. I think that, yes, a journey together. Bluey's certainly interested in getting to the temple of, well, Asalios.
Yes.
And I feel like a few days ago has sort of given back the sword.
Okay.
It is feeling without able to sort of like cast magic and do big thing of damage. She's filled with the energy of like, we need to train.
Amazing. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
So let's say you guys are at some training grounds. Remember when you were staying within the walls of the city and there were those training grounds where whilst you were fortifying against a potential invasion, you stayed with many an NPC who we haven't seen for a long time. Let me just get my list. Oh my goodness. I did not think we were going to be doing this. Let me see. Calcariat. Oh, there's so many people, guys. Guess what? You guys met someone called Viv here. You met
I remember that.
someone called Damon.
I don't remember a Damon.
Well, guess what, Cass? He didn't like you very much. This human male, exasperated, doesn't like Cass that much. Pink head guard.
Oh,
Well,
Wait,
I like
I remember. Because it was when you were trying to get through the door, wasn't it? No wonder he didn't like you.
Yes,
I remember
yes.
Oh my
I mean, at the
goodness.
end of the day, he means so little to Cass that she doesn't remember him at all. But I'm sure he will always remember her, and that's all that matters in Cass's narrative.
Exactly. Okay, so you all are lined up alongside some of the guard recruits. Bluey, unfortunately, the people here, though they have heard of your battle prowess, they have set aside a chance to challenge you, to see what you're really made of. Neff, they've done the same for you.
I promise I'm made of flesh, I swear.
As you were all as you were preparing to train, you're pulled in front of the new recruits, and you can tell that the intent is to make a bit of a show.
Mhm.
And so, give me one moment. I would like the two of you to, very briefly, I don't know what Undertale is. I'm really sorry. I know. I know. It is.
I
I know
needed
you
to learn.
have.
I couldn't remember if that was like Mad Dummy or something in Undertale.
You're all fine. Don't worry. I have no idea what you're talking
It's
about.
just Neff's eccentricities.
You see a few helmeted guards pull their swords out, but they are wooden training swords, although blunted, and attempt to spar with you. So, can you both roll me initiative?
Holy shit.
What I assume is going to be a very brief fight. The aim is to disarm.
I mean, level 20. If it isn't a brief fight, then I'm concerned.
Where are you guys all level 20 now?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh my god,
Neff is
no.
under level. I think she's on level 17.
Oh,
Aw.
She's a wee little fighter.
you're just like a good fighter in comparison to the demigod status that we are all now.
Yeah, literally. Right, so
Bluey's getting her up there.
18 for initiative.
18, and Blue, what did you roll?
That's a 12.
Okay.
Let me
Right,
just
well, both of you are faster than these normies. So, one opponent for each of you. The first in the round is Neff. Neff, you see yourself sizing up against a huge, hulking figure with a short sword with a flat blade in one hand.
No problem.
Okay.
He goes, "Hurrah! Hurrah! Hurrah!" What do you do?
Oh, okay. In that case, since that's what's happened, I would like to equip my beard of disguise and also do my own battle cry.
Roll an intimidation check. What do you look like?
Okay. Well, beard of disguise. I'm looking like I'm like a little Santa Claus. Intimidation. All right.
Wait, you don't change your appearance at all. You just look like little Santa Claus.
I saw that.
Okay. So roll a natural 20 on intimidation.
You put on the beard of disguise. No. Oh my god.
I'm going to eat you.
Instead of Santa, it's
He
Krampus.
turns around and starts running away. Throws his sword. Make me a quick dexterity check just to make sure the sword doesn't accidentally hit you.
Just a check or a save?
Save, sure.
Okay. And that is a 14.
Okay, yeah,
I'm enjoying that we can literally see your rolls, Thomas. It's like giving like, oh, sneaky. It feels sneaky. It feels like I shouldn't look. Shouldn't know,
Just
but I do.
Like, making up for it. What
Oh,
did
does
you
it show up
do?
in your character sheets when I roll them?
It,
does,
it
yeah.
just
Oh,
says
that's
it
cool.
just
I
comes
didn't
with
know
your
that.
It's
Okay.
in the same campaign.
name and what you've rolled.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like a delicious little secret. Mm-hmm. Dum, dum, dum.
Beautiful. Right, next up in the order is Louis. You see Ned turn into a little gnome, and then a sword impales into the ground right next to him, missing him by a hair. What do? Your opponent has not paid this any mind. You are fighting a equally large person with a mohawk, helmet, and 2 clubs.
All right. Bluey's not going to get out the whistle dart because I think she's wanting to do. Yeah, I think she's going to try and do a grapple with the first attack, and if it doesn't succeed, she'll try a grapple again.
Let's strength check. Let's strength contest. So
it's either athletics or acrobatics for your person.
Sounds
I'm
good.
doing athletics.
that's 17.
That's 19 from me. Grapple.
Okay.
All
They
right.
are grappled. They've slammed them to the ground, and they are like their clubs kind of just like quivering in their hands, still gripping them.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do?
With the other 2 attacks, how could you do this? Can she punch the club so that it starts to come out of the hand?
You can do 2 attacks with disadvantage to try and get the hand because it's going to be a little bit. Yeah. Actually, no, because grapple would usually give you advantage. You can roll them straight.
Oh, okay. Well, just punching is 24 to hit and 21 to hit.
Okay, both of those hit. The clubs just scatter across the ground, and that is a very short-lived fight in which both of you win by one opponent running away, their tail between their legs, and the other losing their weapon as you expected. And you hear a clap. Very good. I wasn't sure if we'd see you two again. Of course, I recognized you the moment you arrived, so I just wanted to see what would happen. And one of the armored individuals pulls off their helmet, and you see when they pull off their helmet that they don't pull it off with a regular kind of flesh and bone hand. They pull it off with a prosthetic hand. And you remember Zanel Dalar, who was the captain of the guard in Calcariat. And she is a female half-elf. She is someone you spent a lot of time with when you were planning your exploits then. And she says to you, "It has been some time, but I hope you have not forgotten me. I wanted to bring you this." And she passes over a piece of parchment. It has been folded and sealed.
Is this to
With
Neb?
the Taronius family seal.
Oh.
You can let this one go now, by the way. I don't think you need to hold them down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Right. You, and she points to your opponent you just bested. Why don't you go and tell Thenius that it is time to come back? And they nod and then just go running after the big man who is
Why don't
cowering
you
in
go
the corner.
cry after your loss?
That's pretty harsh, disembodied voices anyway. So,
Second best is not good enough.
I believe this is addressed to both of you. In fact, I received 2 who have sent these new all together. And Nefel, one is there for you as well.
Oh,
Opening 3, 2, 1.
1. Go.
And that is where we'll pause very quickly. You're all going to find out what's in the letter at the same time. Move away.
Daddy.
Or stare.
Oh, it's me. Hello.
You don't know exactly how long it's been working on your goals, your projects, as you have been. But either way, you walk through the doorway into the room that you share with Loran to sleep for the night, as although your work keeps you two apart often, and often you leave before dawn, you always spend your nights together, whether that's in the Feywild,
Where is this room?
in the Ice Palace,
Okay.
whether that's in the Feywild or the Ice Palace like you are in now. Loran is already in his night clothes, which means he's just got the duvet pulled up around him, snugly. And as you prepare yourself for bed, perhaps pour yourself a bath, Loran slips in and joins you. And he just says, "It's been longer than usual, Ulster. You're losing your track of time, maybe.
What do you mean?
Perhaps have a drink. Recenter yourself." And he offers you a cool glass of water with ice.
Also, will chug.
As you
Ice
chug,
baby.
mute for a moment.
Oh. That's very sweet, though. Did anyone happen to catch the name of the guard in Calcariat, or is it in the NPC list?
I think it's in the list. I think. Which one are you talking about?
The
As you
one who
drink
gave
the
us-
water, you feel satiated, you feel quenched, and you feel much better than before. And then Loran flicks you on the forehead and just says, "Thought that might happen." Then he pinches you on the cheek.
Why must you touch my face?
"It's just nice to see you." And he gives you a kiss, and then he says, "Wait a moment." And you watch him get out of the bath, throw on a towel, and you hear clattering and banging from the other room. And then you see him come back with 2 babies, one in each arm. Both of them are wearing little baby water wings around their necks and arms. And he just says, "Family bath time."
Family.
And he just like dunks them in. And there's a moment where you're like, "Ah!"
Yeah, he puts his hands on the
been
both babies.
born?
Yeah.
Why wasn't Cass there? Exciting.
Guys,
Somewhere,
you're
Cass is fuming
timeline
somewhere.
things is going to, there's a reason why I haven't brought you in. The timelines right
Fine.
now, we're just
I will
establishing.
trust the DM, but know that Cass is fuming somewhere in a Feywild.
Maybe not for very long. The babies are like this.
Also, I will support both of them. Do you really think it's a good idea to toss them in the water at the age of, what, 5 and 6 months?
If I don't, somebody else will, and then they won't know how to swim.
I'm pretty sure no one will toss them in the water at this age.
We have many enemies.
You never let them out of your sight.
It's true. No one can harm them when I'm here.
No, you're quite diligent.
I know, it's been so difficult looking after them whilst you've been away. But your work is going well, I trust.
I haven't been gone that long, really. It's just,
Like I said, you've been losing track of time. Lucas is going to worry.
Lucas is fine. He's got his own child to worry about soon. Why are you smirking at me?
Maybe sooner than you think.
I don't want to be around for that.
Well,
Can't imagine how loud Danielle's going to be.
she might want your help.
I'm just not very. I'm not a doctor. You might want to contact Slia, maybe Neff, maybe not Neff, or maybe Neff should be there because it's her sister. But
I'm sure that they will be contacted when the time is right.
yeah, fair enough.
But not to worry. Not to worry, Ulster, because guess what? We're all here right now and everything is fine. And we're putting it all behind us. And everything is going swimmingly. And then there's a tapping at the door on the glass.
Hello?
Of the kind of window. And you look up to, there's like a glass door that leads out to the balcony in the bathroom. And you see there is like a white snowy owl just like tapping its claws.
I will get up and go let it in.
and it flies in, and like a single feather comes off and lands on Sean's head, and he's like, he's a really chubby baby, like butter cheeks chubby. And the owl kind of like glides back and forth and then settles on the edge of the bath and holds out its leg, and you see there's a little parchment attached, which is labelled to none other than yourselves.
I'm really happy that wasn't a person at the window. Takes the letter.
Kev is dangling from the window frame like,
Wouldn't be surprised.
thank goodness. Goodness gracious. They did not see me. Just as you go to open up the letter, you hear a rapping at the door, and then you hear, fuck it, and just like, as the door is bashed open, and there's a moment where there's a pause, and then like a Loran Ulster from a Saraza-shaped voice.
I will throw on a robe and stroll out. Yes.
It's Danny Well. She is in her labours.
Oh. Right.
Wait, what's that you're holding there?
A letter I just received. I was going to open until you came in to our room.
Yes, no, it was urgent because she was
Without-
asking for you.
Oh, for me? You know, I'm not very good with the whole birthing thing. I would rather
The other option right now is Kev.
Can't we just like teleport Slayer here or something?
Okay, we will do that briefly, but first, before we go any further with this, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out an identical letter. You as well?
Yeah.
Interesting. We should convene about this, but the queen is in her labours, so let's go.
Also looks so reticent to go to the labourers. He's like,
Loran says, wait! And he just like starts splashing around and comes out fully nude, holding his children. And he's like, I will clean them up, and then I will go and summon
Loran,
here myself.
Loran,
What? Oh, it's my brother.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to see that.
Saraza, meanwhile, has left, fading into the distance.
That was quick.
And then, in a flip of fingers, Loren says, well, I suppose it was that easy, as a robe kind of like materializes around him. And
He did this on purpose.
I
Also, we'll take their children.
You guys start dressing them back up, wiping them down to make sure they're nice and warm. Shoon reaches out and tries to hold Zarina's hand. Zarina just like flops her hand on his face and is like sticking her finger like up his nose and is like blah 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 blah.
No.
Blah, 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 blah.
No. No.
Shoon starts crying.
Loran. Why are you crying? She didn't even get you. Also, we'll pick Shoon up. You take Zarina, I'll take Shoon.
Sounds good. The ram just like holds her under his arm and is like, let's go.
That is not how you hold a baby. They start walking.
So, without opening
They're
the
going
letters,
mad with that.
I know. Without opening the letters yourself. Oh God! Loran separates from you, Ulster, briefly, with Zarina still under his arm. He heads over to the teleportation circle where, well, I wonder who is watching the teleportation circle. It's everyone's new favourite NPC, Greaves! Who goes, oh, that's so cute! Oh my god!
Oh, hello. Hello, baby.
We've got ourselves an acrobatics artist.
Big, loud, goofy boy.
Yeah. Loran heads to the teleportation circle, separating from you, Ulster, and
Loran cutscene.
sees Greaves and says, hello, I need you to take me to, well, we've been there before, my shop. I understand. And Grieve says, "Oh, but of course, my king consort." And he taps the teleportation circle with his toe. This is Laurent. Steps into it, and with a thumbs up of approval from Greaves, with a flash of gold, discorporates with Zarina still. So yeah, it is a Saturday.
Of course, it's a Saturday.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's a glorious day outside. When you saw the forecast this morning, sunshine all day, your heart sank 3 levels because you know what that means. That means people are out and about. That means customers. And in a magic shop, that means absolute chaos. Let alone in a magic shop filled with random orphans. Most of whom, well, what do you do? What do you let the orphans do during the day? Do you make them go to school? Do you leave them with
Cages.
do you cage them?
Slayer makes sure that they do all of their lessons, and then if they want, they can go out and explore certain places like
Cages.
library, park.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Tree.
Some of them have taken to going to Onrit's forge, learning the ways of smithery. Some of them have taken to sleeping, specifically Leo, just sleeping all day. Some of them go out. Morel and Marek seem to love the outdoors and being under the sun. And of course, Kion likes to sit on the counter whilst you work.
Oh my god.
Feet.
People think he's not real, so they go up and poke him and then he bites them.
Yes, it's true.
With a little bit of zap.
Slayer. You can hear, after being in an already busy shop, you hear the sounds of magic missiles going off and blasting holes through the ceiling. You hear papers falling to the floor and being like, oh shit. And so people picking them up and trying to stack them, but they stack them wrong. You see people who are browsing, picking up stuff, and they just put it down and leave rather than putting it back.
Like, this is personal.
Annoying stuff.
Meanwhile,
there's a woman at the
Verinia's
top.
falling around with the baby and just organizing things I tell you, everybody here was just raised in a barn.
Farinia nods and then sort of rocks the babe to her chest and just says, yeah, not a single one of them knows how to alphabetize the spell books. It's so obvious. You do it by School of Magic? Are they imbeciles? What are they doing here? Anyway.
I love these two nerds.
You were interrupted. You see. As a woman, even though you're standing at the till, leans over and rings the bell. Bing, ding, 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 ding.
There is suddenly no
Slayer,
bell.
you doomed to a life of retail.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say? Sorry, Slayer?
There is suddenly no more bell. It's just...
She puts her finger down to ring it again, puts it too hard, and she breaks her fingernail. She says,
I wonder how that
"Excuse
happened.
me. I just had these done." Anyway.
Would you like me to execute her?
I need a book about abjuration.
All right. Do you know which one you're looking for?
It's a blue one.
If you've never worked as a bookseller, guys.
Slade
Every
pulls
day.
out a records and is like,
It's definitely blue.
You could call that color blue, I'm sure.
But you know the one I'm thinking of, right? The abjuration one?
Here, let me
The
take
blue
you
one?
over to the abjuration books and let's see if we find the right one for
Can't
you.
you just go get it for me?
I'm triggered. I need to go.
I'm in a real rush here, and you've already hurt my finger. I don't think you realise, exactly what's going on here. I really need this book now.
All right. Well, educate me. Which book that you need?
I don't know 100%. I know that there's a spell with, like, I don't know, hand in it.
Hand?
Yeah, something like that. Hand.
Can I roll an Arcana check? Just.
Let's
see, that is a 14 on the die plus a terrible number. Where are you? That's 28.
28. Wonderful. Give me a moment. Hang on, sorry, I've got to skip the adverts. It's very annoying.
Also, do you have the,
right.
I guess, recommendation on which book? Any, course requirements that I need to be meeting here?
Yeah, the teacher just emailed a picture of this really specific book, but I didn't bring my phone with me. No, my sending stone with me, so I don't know what it looks like. But I know it's blue. I know it's not that one there. And she points to a green book.
Okay. Well.
And I know it's got the spell, like the word hand in it. So, yeah, I need that.
Can Slia cast locate object?
Sure.
To try and find the right book.
You may. So you cast locate object, and as you do, you feel no pings, which confirms to you that there are no abjuration spells which contain the name, the word hand.
Are you sure it's not a conjuration book you're looking for?
No, it's definitely abjuration. Can I speak to your manager?
Sure, let me go get
I don't think you're going to be able to serve me. By the way, Slia, there's a line of like 10 people going out the door now.
Slia literally just turns about in place. All right, I'm the manager. What can I do for you?
If you treat customers like this, you're not going to get any more. Now, Slia, not that you needed any assistance, but you do hear, with your passive perception, a kind of like rustling sound and a whoosh of magic, which lets you know that someone's just arrived in the shop via the teleportation circle.
You know what? Let me go get exactly the man you're looking for.
You do. She's like, good. So it's a man then, is it? Fine. And you walk off, and you push away the velvet curtain, and you see Loran in a velvet bathrobe, still damp hair, holding his baby, and says, Slia soon.
Loran,
you look haggard.
May I see?
You're missing a name. Game on Dehane. I'm trying to correct all the songs.
You know what? You might also start with the name on your shop.
Fair enough. You've got me there, darling. Now,
Loran, Game on Dehane. Please go.
Daniel is favors, so we need your help.
I will trade you Daniel for that customer over there.
Stunning. One moment. He walks out and says, this customer? Points at her.
Yep.
And he turns and says, hello, you? Oh, were you asking for the manager? And she says, yes, is that you? She looks up and down. You don't look like the manager. And he says, and you don't look like a customer, you look like a toad. And flicks his finger and turns her into a toad. You wish I could do that. Anyway, everyone, and he calls to the line, the shop's closed, fuck off. That At which point there are some rumblings and some grumblings.
Slaya looks over at Verinia like,
and she's like, more time for me to browse, I guess. And she has a stack of books, like 15 high, that you know she's going to buy at the end of her shift.
With her staff discount.
With her staff discount, there's nothing you can do to stop her.
It's like 2%.
And
yeah, all of the money that doesn't go towards like feeding and clothing the children goes to Verinia's book habit.
Brilliant. After a while, when people are still milling about and aren't leaving quick enough, Loran says, Frinia, be the muscle, and I will give you half those books for free. At which point she goes and starts like shouldering people out of the shop. Once it is clear, which takes all in all about 10 minutes, Loran turns to you, still bouncing Zarina on his arm, and says, to Daniel, we can bring your wife.
Are we having another labour scene?
No, we're not.
Oh my god. Like, please spare us.
Don't worry.
No more births.
Oh, I thought she'd want to stay here and catch up on some reading.
Fair enough. I am not your boss. And he winks at you.
Lala's going to the toilet.
Lala's going to the toilet. He's a very clean bottom.
He's very clean.
Yeah.
Such a good boy.
Such a good boy.
Compared to his...
I wonder if he's going to try and...
Asshole.
You know how he often goes... So Lala, when he goes to the loo, at the end always goes like...
Yeah, and Dad just jumps out.
Oh!
Oh, Lala.
No. Didn't do it this time. Maybe it was just a pee. Anyway. I'm getting distracted. Frinia seems already to be on the floor, picking out which book she's going to have for free and which book she's going to pay. You can tell it's the most expensive ones she's decided she's going to get for free. Loran is turning a blind eye and says, well, shall we?
By all means, not a quick process, but let's go get it,
Get it done.
Let's get it done.
As you turn to leave, there is a rapping on the door. And you see a person dressed in courier's clothing with a horse kind of held in their grip, obviously for delivering parcels around the city at quick speed. And in his hand, he holds a scroll, which even from here you can see has a very specific kind of sigil on it, which is then addressed to you. And the courier points at the letter and pushes it through the slot in the door, tips his hat, and then gets back on his horse and starts clip-clopping away to the next shop. And Frinia, sure enough, picks it up and says, it's for you. So yeah.
I guess I'll open it on the way. Thank you. Slaya gives her a
Excuse me,
kiss.
come back as soon as possible because I want to talk to you about this book specifically. And she picks up a golden kind of orange book which is a conjuration book. And of course, upon it is the mechanics and methods of Mage Hand, which you imagine might have been what the lady was looking for, but now belongs to your lovely wife. Your lady wife.
A good lady wife. We rewatched all of that the other day. It was bliss.
What's that from? What's that from, sorry?
What we do in the shadows.
What we do in the shadows.
Obviously.
Ah.
On my plate.
Oh, George, I need to send you the Google Drive for season 4. So you can watch it. We have it all downloaded and it's wonderful. It's really funny.
The absolute.
Yeah. Slaya, you step onto the teleportation circle and within a moment you and Loran are whisked away and there's a cold breeze as you are back in the Ice Palace. Oh. That's like full. Oh, I didn't say.
I'll go check.
Cass.
I do. Oh, right, sorry.
Sorry. Cass.
Yo.
You return home, well, here, from being in the Ice Palace. You're 3 days up. And when you return, instead of going to your usual hideaway that you've been kind of making your own space and privacy with what little possessions you brought with you, you are instead summoned straight, walking out of the mist, to that same meeting area where you first met Titania, where she smashed the faces of Cortan Ventress. And here you see Titania walking amongst the bushes, the rose bushes. It looks like roses, but from every stem blooms. That's okay.
Sorry, if I miss anything, it's my AirPods are playing up a little bit, so you sometimes bits and bobs are cutting in and out.
I'll try and
she's walking. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Keep it as it is.
She walks across the rose bushes, from each bud a different flower, so it's hard to call them rose bushes. And occasionally she'll stop at one and she'll poke it and it'll bloom larger and brighter. Others she'll sigh at sadly and pluck with her fingers and eat them. And then when she hears you approaching, she turns and with a summery smile says, "Cass, my dear, come,
Cass.
sit."
Okay, Cass was gonna bow. I think she's gonna be mid getting down to bow and be like, "Oh wait, okay," and then goes over.
She holds your face between her hands and tilts yours up and presses her forehead to yours. And when it pulls away, you have a crown of flowers just cascading down your back and across the crop of your hair. And she says, "Oh, how was it, my Cass?"
It was everything. Thank you, my lady.
Good. Do you know why I've summoned you directly to myself? Probably not, but I wondered whether you would know.
I assume you already know, but about the child?
I do, and interestingly enough, this is not why I summoned you. That information was passed straight on to me the moment it happened. Of course, when there is another child, you will have to return, but, well, we'll make sure the timings work out for that. Do not worry. But
Then why have you summoned me?
Indeed. Cass, I summoned you because I wanted to thank you for your good work and also for the unexpected gift you brought me. I did not realise you were not coming back alone.
Cass is
An addition to the garden is always a blessing, and to have a willing one, it's especially now. I am pleased. Thank you. Know that because of the good work you have done, I am considering your ambassadorship and hoping that it can be expedited.
Thank you. Cass is gonna do a perception check. She's like, is she talking about Danielle's potential baby that is gonna be potentially given or not given, or is there someone else with her? Oh, that's not actually bad. 16 plus 8, so 24.
You know that you have yet to have the discussion with Titania about Daniel's request. So it probably isn't that. But you can sense the presence of another person in the rustling of the leaves.
With the 24, do I get that with the perception, or do I now need to investigate it now that I know that there's someone in the bushes?
You can call out to them.
I think Cass is gonna sort of turn to the bushes and just be like, hello.
After a moment's pause, you see a tall elven figure walk out. Oh god, that sounded really heavy. Sorry, the men just something. Oh well, yeah.
They're causing you're not paying attention to them, so they're causing distraction and disruption. There's carnage in the house.
Oh, they knocked over a suitcase. A tall elven. Lala's in the suitcase.
I like the idea of Lala getting in and then Baz being like, hiya, and kicking it over.
Lala loves to get in things. It's insane. A tall elven figure emerges from behind.
Do you want to say it one more time?
No, it's the last time. The bushes. And you recognise her immediately. Freya says, I spent a long time looking for you.
Cass did tell her where she was, right? Because she did some sending. She asked them to do sendings before she left.
Exactly. So
Okay. I think Cass is like momentarily quite shocked, and she's just sort of like, you came to find me?
"3 months isn't particularly long, but it was long enough to know that I was done down there. The Sisterhood is my main target, and I know it's yours as well. So I thought, why not ingratiate myself here, where I can make real change and be with someone I could see myself spending eternity with, I guess. It's kind of cringy, but like, that would be you."
Cass is gonna like run and like pounce on her.
Ah! And she kind of holds you close and says, "Yeah, no, I mean, I also remember being pulled into that portrait full of nymphs and thinking it was really cool up here. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
Also, I didn't want you to be alone, and I didn't really have anyone else. So I thought, even if you don't want to be with me forever, let's be with each other now, I guess."
Cass is gonna sort of cup her face, and then I think her sort of wings are sort of like responding without her realizing, and they're sort of like out and like kind of fluttering a little bit. And
you guys are like levitating a foot off the floor.
and she's gonna be like, you don't know how happy that makes me.
She smiles and gives you a kiss, if you allow it.
Cass returns it.
And Titania watches smugly from behind and says, "Well, it would be a shame to let that strawberry go to waste. Do you still have it, the one I gave you?" If not, I can pull you a fresh one. It won't have rotted.
Cass, with a flash, has the strawberry in her hand because it was in a wrist pocket. But she's going to, before Freya takes it, she's just going to say, "Are you sure? The sisterhood is my target, but I don't know how readily we can go to get them. I want you to do this for you, not just for me."
Freya nods and says, "I'll rot down there, but I don't think I will here. I don't want to be consumed by anger, even though I am still determined. It's just that the way I was isolating myself, even from you. And, well, if I'm here, then it's because I've decided I'm going to make the most of my time." And she picks
Then
up the strawberry.
Cass is going to pass it over.
Yeah. She'll pick up the strawberry and sort of cheers you with it and take a bite. And when she does, you notice that scarring across her throat begins to like sort of twist and twitch. And rather than like scar tissue, it starts to look like roots. And up around her ears, you see leaves and flowers beginning to grow from her scalp
Is Freya dead?
and just take over her hair.
I feel like I missed something.
No, she's here in Thrilled with Cass.
Cute.
So is her hair sort of a mixture of hair and roots, or is it just roots now? Or
So
like
there's
leaves?
the scar tissue on her throat kind of looks like a root system, like a branch system.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's leaves and flowers growing from her hair.
Cute. Cass is going to run her hand through it and is going to like kind of like hold just like under her throat, but like holding where the scarring is. And she's like, "I'm glad this didn't go."
Smiles. And Titania says, "Not to break up the two of you. Not that I ever would, but Cass,
Emma,
you're what?
your bangs are forming a heart.
Oh, uh-huh. That's
Oh,
funny.
that is cute.
Anyway, not to break the two of you up at all, but Cass, I'm sorry, you're actually needed down there sooner than I expected. We're going to have a moment.
Cass is like going to stand up and be like, "Show on, baby."
We're going to have a quick flashback. Incredibly fast. But Cass, just a week has passed in the hour you've been back in the Feywild. And in that week, most of you have returned to your homes, to where you are intended next. But of course, there are two people who are still together, as they are always together, inseparable. Cass, Titania takes your hand and leads you over to the pond where you entered the human realm once previously. And all stare
We.
as you hold Shoan in your arms for the first time. And Loran is behind you. Both of you tucked up in the bed with him between you.
I've held up Shoan so many times, just next to the round, like,
This one's me.
where am I?
Points at Zarina. With Zarina and Shoan between you, Sherwan, very baby, very small, despite coming late. You hear a rustling sound like leaves, and you smell that waft of lavender.
Oh, just so wait, I need to.
And Cass, you step through the pond and your foot lands on the floor of their bedroom in the Ice Palace. But where you walk, rather than touching the ground, you are walking on a bed of leaves. You know that your time here is limited, not like how it was when you were here for Zarina. And before you realise it, in your palm, there is a piece of baby's breath.
Cass is like, baby. She doesn't even say hi to Loran or Brian. She's just like, baby, where's the baby? Baby.
Unexpected visitor.
Loran just sighs and says, "You only just left a couple days ago. You're already
It's
out
been
there."
like 30 seconds for me. I said, baby, where's the baby? Cass is now moving. She's looking. Where is Sherwan?
Sherwan is right there, nestled on the bed, and Loran
He cries a lot. Be careful.
sits up. Cass, roll a d20. For him, the DC is going to be higher.
They've been so good. Ooh, 19.
19. He is crying up until the very moment you look him in the eye, at which point he sniffles and is like, and then dribbles.
Cass dribbles in response to show that they are kindred.
He blows like a bubble. Not
Camaraderie.
even.
Cass blows a bubble, and it's like the best conversation she's ever had.
Yeah, the bubble kind of like bounces through the air and like stops on his nose, and he goes, how many sneezes, sparks of magic, like in color, just like fly up around him, and Loran says, "It's my boy." He's gonna be like me.
Also, just repositions Zarina on his lap, like.
And dish my baby, girl.
Cass scoops him up and sort of bounces him on her hip and goes, "You are amazing." Cass like looks over to Loran, and Brian is like, "You know what? You guys are all right, but you make some very good babies. That's all I'm gonna say. These are some good babies."
Hello to you too, Cass.
Yes. You're now insignificant. You've given me the babies. That's all that matters.
You better be careful she doesn't take him back with her.
You're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to do your little flower test and then leave.
Cass bounces like, "I would never take you, but if you followed, that's not my fault."
He can't support his own head.
Sherwan goes, bleh,
Yet.
bleh.
Cass isn't going to do the baby's breath straight away because she's worried that the baby's breath is once that's done, she might vanish. So she's going to go, I think she's just going to sit down, and it's just going to be like, there's like a bed of flowers underneath her. And then she's going to be like, "Zarina!" Just other hand out is for the other baby.
Indeed.
Also, we'll lower Zarina down.
You kind of just like have babies.
Yes, and then she's gonna be looking at both of them, but be like, "And how are the parents? Are they okay?" And that is directed at you guys, but you know that Cass isn't going to be looking at you once in this interaction.
I'm very tired, I think.
Loran says, "Cass, we love to see you again, but we have been awake since about 4 a.m.
Then you should sleep and leave me here. Yes, they should. That is what they should do.
I have a very long lulling routine that Loran needs to take care of, and you'll be here for hours.
Loran looks at you all and just says, "Do you know what? Let's let her do it. I believe in her."
Cass at that does look up, and she's like, she then is like, you really are tired, because that is
It's
something
been a good
I've
week.
never heard.
Ulster cannot sleep. He's just like, I guess I'll sit here and watch you.
Cass is like, accepted, and she'll get them both ready for bed.
He looms to the end of the bed and just sits there like a little shadow.
I think I feel like there's a fairly comfortable silence. As I say, silence between Cass and Brian, but Cass is like constantly talking to the children.
Also doesn't say
all sorts of nonsense. But yeah, she'll get them ready, and sort of once they're all clean and wrapped up and swaddled, she will put Shoan's on a bed of sunflowers and Zarina is on a bed of snowdrops.
They kind of just go, bleh, and they sleep.
I'll be asleep for about 30 minutes.
Then you best get that 30 minutes. That she is going to look over at Ulster, and I'm going to do an insight check. Ooh. Bang, that was a good. I did some nice fucking rolls. That's a dirty 20.
Cass, I know this would usually come from an investigation check, but I'm going to add it in because I think it's relevant information anyway. Just the tiniest, at the corner of Ulster's mouth, you just see a hint of like redness, which Ulster just kind of licks away very quickly.
I do that.
And with the insight, how is, because obviously I think emotionless is fairly where Brian's been. Is that still very much the case? Is it worse? Is it better?
He seems emotionless, would imply like some kind of blankness, but he does seem to be processing everything that's happening. It's just he's not reacting in the normal way you would expect Ulster to react. He's not necessarily going through the usual like ups and downs and like silly humours that Ulster has, and he hasn't blinked at all. He's just staring at you, a bit like a frog. So,
okay.
Picking.
And how are you?
I haven't slept in 2 days, but I can safely say that I'm very happy. And he looks down at his kids.
Cass, as you ask that question, and as you kind of spend this time trying to make the most of this visit with Ulster, you do feel like a rush of cold wind on your back.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I have long. She's going to look down at Shoan, and she's going to gently lay the baby's breath on his forehead.
You lay it on the forehead, and it just sinks in and kind of like falls in like a glitter almost over the crown of his head. And as it does, you see a warmth begin to kind of spread beneath his skin. And he kind of yawns and like pleasantly wriggles down. And just around the crown of his head, you see stars begin to kind of just light up one by one.
That looks positive.
Yes, I think Titania will be very happy. She's going to give Zarina and Shoan a kiss on the forehead, and then she's going to turn to Brian, and she's going to cut Brian's cheek. And she's going to be like, I'm going to see what I can do to help you. And then she'll pull him in for a hug.
Before you can
or
get
attempt
to
to.
the hug, you just close your arms around air and you fall forwards out of the pond. And Titania is there like, come on.
You don't get a hug. I get the child.
Yeah. Also, just waft of leaves where Cass once was, just kind of drift over and fall in your arms.
He kind of just watches them scatter, and he's like, and then picks both the children up and wriggles back into bed.
Cass, when you return to the Feywild, it's hard to say exactly how that time passes, but Titania does keep on her promise of potentially speeding up your role as ambassador, but you come across something you've never come across before in your life, which is the Fae equivalent of speeding up. Now, Fae are immortal. They live for many, 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 many hundreds of years. Especially being like Titania, it's undying. So you dread to think how long you initially would have had to wait for this role. But Titania says, yes, I believe that we'll be able to sort something out for you, I don't know, in the next decade or so.
Cass nods and says, that's very generous of you. If
Right,
there is anything...
No, I just have plenty of agents on the material plane right now. I need to harvest a few of them before I can let you go. Harvest.
Cass is like, fair enough. She's like, Cass has no qualms. She's like, all right, fine. Harvest away. Cass, let's not lie. Cass is not exactly... She's got some dark streaks in her. She's like, yeah, harvest away, mate.
Cass does know what she signed up for. And Cass, the days turn into weeks, and soon a month passes. And in that month, you are instructed to do nothing. You are told to go nowhere and perform no tasks.
Sounds pretty sweet.
I'm not going to lie, Cass has got quite accustomed to doing stuff, so that is actually harder than it seems. But now that Freya is there, I think even though they're not doing anything, they're sort of training together and getting to know each other, because they never actually had that much time on the material plane.
Indeed. You see the Fae around you kind of laugh a little at your restlessness, but between the two of you, it's nice to have time to catch up with one another and have that time, like you said, you never got. Until Titania frowns one day. She's starting to pass into autumn and says, strange. Someone's here.
What is it, my lady? Someone that needs killing. Cass is very eager. She's like, pulls out her like flower sword, her flower weapon. She's like, where? Let me, I want to do, it's been a really long time since I've done a murder.
No. Someone, I'm afraid, deities like myself know very well by this point. Come here. Come out to the shadows. And
Is it Serellaras?
a golden doorway
Yeah.
lights up.
Cass doesn't sheath the weapons. Instead, she's like, oh yeah. She like flips them and she's like, oh, this is even better.
Serellaras galore looks slightly different from whence you last met them. And they push open the doorway. They are as tall and regal as ever. But where once their eyes were a unified colour, one is now different. When Valora Life occupied the Orb of Dragonkind, it glowed a odd green. And now that another occupies it, it seems to look like a night sky, a void almost.
Void fish.
One of them at least. A glittering orb. The other is gold as normal. And they look at you and they say, Cass. Tapenard?
You!
Cass will sheath her weapons and is like, and sighs and be like, yes, I always want Tapenard.
Titania. May I? I hear you wish to make her an ambassador. Let me take her on a spin to see whether she is up to the task. And Titania says, where would you take her? You are an intruder into realms such as mine. Why should I let you do anything? And Sorella smiles and says,
I'm a dragon.
I can help you. Let's call it a favor. And Titania thinks for a moment and then nods. Cass, report back. I want to know where they go and what they do there.
Of course, my queen. And Cass is gonna like give Sorella the eye, like even though he's technically helping her, she's like, "What's your game? You don't do favors." Oh, also at some point, obviously, before the month has elapsed, Cass would have given Danielle's request to Titania.
For sure. Cool. Sorella welcomes you into the mansion and then says, just a moment, I need to close the door. I'm expecting guests. Bluey.
No.
I said your name. You're in the game now. Bluey, Neff, Ulster, Sleer, Lorraine. And Saracen. The three of you crack open the seal, unfurl the scroll, and read, to mine old allies, the disappointment crew. And that is scratched out and beneath is written, the Siege Sisters. It would please me if you met myself upon the hill beyond where once Eldrelith's watch stood. I have something to show you and to discuss, and also request to learn the location of one Picarus Heronium, for I have many an interested party asking after his whereabouts. All gracious regards and blessings upon your lives henceforth, Sorella galore. P.S. I am sure this letter will find you in good spirits, as I often found you upon your quests, whence we knew each other from days past.
Okay, Sorella.
Yes, when you found us dying and traumatized and possessed and so happy. Okay, if in that case, if Sorella is asking after Pikotaro, then I think it's canon that Cass still has the bag of holding and just never gave it to Bluey.
But Cass, luckily enough, what's really funny is you don't hear the contents of this letter.
Oh no, Cass has just got a bag on her. She's just chilling.
La 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 la.
Sorella sits you down with the jar of tapenade ahead of you and just says, have a bite whilst I sort some things out. And
Cass rolls her eyes, but eats the tapenade.
It's delicious as usual. You think of Gerald. It was somewhere in this labyrinth.
I really
shouts
imagine
out.
Gerald is like Martin Blackwood
Yeah.
from Magnus
Yeah.
Saga.
Yeah.
That is exactly the visual I had for him too.
And me. Cash just shouts out, "Thanks, Gerald. It's banging as usual."
There's a brief pause and then, welcome.
You're not sure where from.
Well, yeah, it could be from anywhere. Anyway, all of you are summoned, of course, to Eldrelith's watch. I said previously that we would skip over travel scenes. But my question to you all is, do you go? Does anyone dissent?
I have turned off my mic. Hold on.
Bluey, what do you think? I don't think I remember most of what this letter is referring to.
Okay, so the old king of Aprea, Pico, I can't ever say his full name, Pikotaro.
Pikotaro.
we were the ones who discovered he had died, but he kept on kind of living undead. But nobody really knew that. Do you remember the sickness?
I have a vague feeling that I have in my gut that I experienced something like what you were describing.
Oh,
The
Nev
sickness?
doesn't have her memories.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot. Oh
Wait,
no.
what?
I have
Nev,
amnesia.
as you're reading this letter, you hear a sending, and it's from your mother. And it says, Nefel, you are an aunt.
Oh,
And then can I send one back?
Yeah.
You mean like the ones that build those hills?
Oh no.
There is a staggered pause.
Hello.
I want to wear that.
that took a while.
There is a staggered pause, and then you just hear your mother say, No, not like that.
So glad Neff doesn't have a degree in biology.
Danielle has given birth. She has a child. And you are her aunt.
I think on receiving that news and realizing that's not the aunt that she thought, I think she would probably have a few
Sorry.
tears to shed.
No.
Oh.
I was thinking of Neff when I said her. I was like, what?
Oh my god, is something okay? Is everything wrong? Wait,
Is everything wrong?
Everything wrong!
Bluey says, is something okay? Is everything wrong?
That's me off guard.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Actually, it's quite on the contrary. Everything is right. I'm an aunt. My sister has had a child.
Oh my god! Ah!
Nephew's crying in game from the news. I'm crying out again from the line. I'm sorry.
As you start sobbing, Neff, your mother, you can still reply to your mother if you like. She's
That's
like waiting on your
amazing.
phone, like, is everything wrong?
She would send a message back. She'd say, that's amazing. I'm overwhelmed. Give her my congratulations. I hope to see her soon. Much love from her dearest sister, forever and always.
Cute. Very cute. That's so cute. As you send that message, you just feel a sigh of relief. And then you look down at the letter and you feel a sigh of anxiety come over you.
Oh,
But surely everything's going to be fine. Sarah has helped you all a lot. What could possibly be wrong?
no.
We're going to skip forward a bit. To here.
Skip.
To now. To the four of you meeting at the crossroads from all the different directions whence you came. Ulster, the closer teleportation circle from here was actually, funnily enough, in a place you recognise the name of, Ganarok, a place which I'm sure Sleo would never be caught dead. Naturally, Sleo came from the Ironstone side, so you're coming from a different path. Bluey, you took a boat from Calcarn to the Axe, which leads you on a second path from everyone else, along with Neff, and the four of you converge, quite by chance and also a little bit by design, at the crossroads where there is a wooden sign which points two ways. One back to Ironstone and the other down to Eldrelith. During these 9 months, someone has scratched out Eldrelith. It's carved a straight line through. the name. And sure enough, looking down from here, you see the dragon, but you do not see the city. You all converge. Slia, Loran, Ulster, Cass. Not Cass, sorry.
It's Cass. I was going to say, I was like, wait, what?
Sorry, Anna. No! Anna!
Somehow Anna just appears in game, and I was like, who's this random human?
Emma,
Who
Emma,
invited
is
her?
everything okay? Is everything wrong?
Everything is wrong. Right. Cass is not there. Everybody else is there. You converge. Loran is the first to speak. Hello, everyone.
I think Blue would be looking up at that sign for quite a while, and then just sort of like
That seems to perplex you. Why?
Just sort of gently smile and then hug everybody.
Oh, I don't want to be touched.
Okay. Air hug.
Okay, I'll humor you. And Nefel Radamac is up.
Hi, that's me.
You seem not quite as strong as your companion, and you perhaps 3 levels lower. Quite a bit shorter than when we last met, at least.
I'm not level 20 yet.
What a shame.
Could Blue have helped to bring her up to 18?
And Slia, I just saw you. It's a wonder we didn't come together. You think logistically that makes sense. At which point, Ulster says, "Stop being mean. These are my trusted friends and allies."
Frosted friends.
Come along, trusted friends. With whomst I have
Everything
gone
is
to
wrong.
the...
Wait, did you say trusted friends or frosted friends?
Let us. Oh look, yes. Also walks away and crouches on the ground and starts picking up a rock and turning it over.
What is happening?
Yeah. Like, is a group insight check like, you know, I feel like Blue wants to do that. Just like, what's
A group insight check does actually sound like a good idea. Like, just to check everybody's vibe.
Check everybody's vibe.
Can I just passively insight?
Yeah, vibe check.
I would love Blues to be intentional, so I might roll insight if that's right.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Everything is wrong.
That's a 6.
Nice. Okay. There's nothing to note, really.
I have a passive insight of 19. Can I ascertain anything just by glancing over casually?
Your friends are acting funny. Like, not like, you know, not like they usually be acting. Slayer, what's your passive insight, or are you rolling?
Oh, I rolled. It was a 26.
26. I'm gonna send you a message.
Gosh.
Let's go to Eldrelith's watch and complete this quest.
Slayer just kind of
Then we're going to
giggles
have
slightly under.
Sorry. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on a minute. I would like to raise an objection.
Not at the thought of me and Ulster.
Slayer just winks at them.
I love my husband. I would.
We all love your husband.
in the hand for him.
UNF was going to go to Eldrelith, but now she's not so convinced.
Smash cut to Sorelaris' mansion, where the nice toasty bread is getting cold. Sorelaris is twiddling their thumbs and looks over at you, Cass, and says, "They're taking quite a while, aren't they?"
If it's who I think, then that checks. She's like, next to her, there's like 5 empty jars of tapenade. She finishes
Right,
another, and she just shouts out,
Smash them on the floor.
Gerald!
Gerald appears like Renfield. Hey, Master!
Master wants tapenade.
Cass picks up another.
Perhaps I'll send you out to fetch them. Might speed the process along. I don't want this lovely warm food that my beautiful Gerald made to get cold. That would be quite the insult upon him.
I could always eat it. I'm sure they'll come eventually.
If you're happy waiting.
Cass is like, tosses up, waiting with really nice food, but with Sorelaris or going to get her friend. She's like, I'm taking this with me though. And she like picks up the tapenade jar and swipes some bread. And she like walks out.
I like a baguette under your arm and a jar, and you're just like ripping it, like and dipping.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's doing.
Beautiful. So you go out the door, and the door sort of opens at the bottom of the hill, which is really annoying. But at the top, you can kind of just about hear the sound of like vaguely, like, you know, bizarre conversation. And so you start making your way up. About 5 minutes later, you kind of appear. Celia.
As we are making our way towards our destination, can Celia ask where Shoan, or Celia doesn't know about Shoan. Celia asks about where Zarina is.
Loran says, "Oh, he looks over at Ulster.
And if
Your
Loran,
passive perception, Celia?
15.
15. Who is the highest passive perception of the group?
I've 18.
18? Okay. Bluey, you don't see anything wrong with this because of your insight roll, but next to you, where Ulster is standing, you see him start mouthing, "Ice balance. Punched by sharp pistol. Sharp pistol." And Loran says, "I gave her a pistol?" No, sharp pistol. I got it.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
That's what he said, yeah, exactly. So Zarina is being looked after by Sharp Pistol. And, guess what? We had another one. There's another one born. And
He throws up again.
We named him Shoan. And he's fine. He looks a lot like me, which is, I guess it's happens a lot. What can I say? I seem to have the stronger genes.
Happens a lot. A bit worrying.
Ulster just looks like seeds for a brief moment, but then does nothing.
I feel like Ulster knows that Celia knows.
He looks at me, and I look at him. Ulster knows that Celia knows.
I see you watching me, watching you.
She just grins. She doesn't say anything.
Will we be able to see Sean soon?
Ulster says, "I love my son." Yes.
Cool.
Oh, look at that woodlouse. I love it. I like its legs. There's woodlice have 18 legs, one on each, like 9 on each side. That's a fact about woodlice. I'm really in tune. with nature.
Yeah. You know, you seem to be doing better, Brian. Is that a sort of fair?
Oh, yeah.
They actually have 14 legs. Also, would have been able to tell you. Sorry.
Sorry, excuse me. I said 14 legs. I said 14. And yeah, I've been going to therapy because actually therapy really helps people when they have issues. Like, for example, if somebody were a psychopath, going to therapy might help them learn how to be a regular, normal husband to their child. Like, I've heard for Cruel, people have been really recommending him therapy. And it's really important that he attends that therapy with me so that he can be a better husband in the future, should they ever get married. But that would be a good thing. Boss.
Is that
I was
like
at the door. And Cass. And Cass, you kind of hear the tail end of this conversation. My best friend, Cass,
is immediately looking around the group, trying to see where the babies are.
Oh, we didn't.
And then when she sees no babies, she will like scowl and be like, let's face it, the only reason I see you guys anymore is because of the children. Where are they?
Great TikTok full of face. Ulster runs up to you and gives you a hug, Cass, and says, my best friend, Cass, I have missed you.
Cass drops the tapenade and the bread and like steps back and like looks at Ulster's face. And can I roll an investigation? Is it investigation or insight?
Insight. They'll give you different.
Not my best. Come on. Ooh, not too bad. 15, so 17.
Okay. With 17, something's not really right here. You kind of get a similar vibe to Neff. Something's a bit off.
Bit sus.
Bit bizarre. But you can't.
Can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, you can.
21.
I'm gonna send you.
Ooh, my game's gonna text. How fun!
My goodness, I have no idea who this could possibly be, other than Brian.
Right, so let's go to Belarus. Ulster says with a mouthful of bread that also has a bit of dirt in it. I used to eat this when I was younger. Reminds me of my childhood.
Cass is gonna whip out her sword, and she's gonna hold it to Brian's throat, and she's gonna go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Cass, please put the sword away. It's unnecessary.
I'm Ulster.
I haven't killed anyone in a really long time.
Yes,
Leah.
and you're not going to start now.
Dog, and I will bite you on the arm.
Oh, Ulster.
Loran puts up a hand and goes, "No, stop! If you harm my husband, I'll fireball you right in the face."
Cass puts away her sword. She's like, "These people don't even deserve a fight. What's going on? What's happening? I've lost good tapenade to this.
No.
What is happening?" Jules is going to say hi to everyone else at this point now.
We've had gallons of ale to keep ourselves awake over the last few days. Gallons of it. What? Nevin chugged it. Fire whiskey down the throat. Mead, if you put a plug in my tummy and pulled it up, you would get a fresh glass. We're fucking drunk. Isn't that right, Ulster? Give up. They know.
Yes.
I never give up.
No.
Yeah, they know.
I can dispel it, or you can do it willingly.
Give up what?
Carl and Carl drop their disguises.
Oh!
Right.
Yeah,
Neff appears
it's always
shocked.
surprising.
Cass is going to stand up then and give a hand to Gerald,
Yeah,
who
thank
was Brian, and be like, that would have actually then been a really good fight. She sighs.
It would have been fun,
Quite
but
disappointed.
no, I don't want to die. You have a child to get back to. Anyway, right. Hey guys, it's us.
You were Brian and Loran the whole time?
We have been.
That's the final twist.
We've been all throwing around for how long? And then Loran Carul starts counting and says, 3 weeks?
Neff holds out a finger. Who are you?
No, we've already done that. Carul has a moment of paralysis where he has a flashback to a life before, and he says, takes a step back and he says, you don't need to say anything else, we've already done that. That's sorted. I'm Carul.
Oh,
Who are you? Haha.
that's a deep question.
No, don't answer it, please. For the love of God, don't answer it.
Neff
She's
looks
at
like she's
level-
loading.
She's at level 17, 18 soon. That's who she is.
Who am I?
Oh.
Who am
I don't rightly know. I think I've lost a big piece of myself. I'm trying to find it.
Carul starts
Cass massages her temple, goes over and gives everyone a hug apart from Carul.
You don't want to hug Carul.
Slia
I'm
hugs
telling you.
everybody, including Carul.
Oh my God, you hugged me. Huh. You've got one.
Yes, but did you want it?
Anyway, so
The loading noises.
So where is our actual friends? Not you,
No,
Gerald. You are also my friend. But
thank you.
Carul,
But
or not.
he's right. They don't tell us where they go. They just tell us that they need us to cover for them.
For
And then this is what
3
we do.
weeks, and people believe you.
Well,
Sorry, that might have been a bit harsh. People
You-
believe
most of the
you,
time-
and points to Carul.
well, he doesn't do it all the time. Sometimes he just kind of is a puppy or a cat and sits on my shoulder. Sometimes he is actual Loran, and in those times, he just kind of uses it to make people laugh at Loran. So I guess it kind of works out because
To be honest, Carul as Loran is more believable than you as Brian. I mean, we have had imposter Carul / it being Loran many times. Kind of worked sometimes, kind of hasn't others. But like this, I mean, if this is believable in any stretch at the palace, I'm quite concerned with how Loran and Brian are conducting themselves in public.
Well,
A little
says,
bit, yeah.
so usually, I'm sure you know my background. I am incredibly well trained in the dramatic arts and the art of impersonation.
This is true. This is true.
I don't mean to scare you, but a lot of that
Then
relies
why were you
on-
so bad right now?
So I have to be able to kill the person in order to take on their personality properly and fully understand their character. And I don't really want to kill Ulster.
As if you could.
Exactly. I don't know if I could do that either, mentally or physically. But
Okay, fast forward. Whatever. What? Why are you here?
because Ulster and Loran are away, and Ulster didn't feel like coming.
Oh, Cass is sad. But
It
then
didn't feel
it's
To
like,
be honest, I didn't realise all of you were going to be here. Otherwise, I might have suggested that he go. But he's also raising 2 children, so I guess it's a bit tough.
Emma, can I roll an insight
Cass
check?
looks,
Yeah, sure.
and Cass is gonna look to Slia and say, like, can you send a message to the real Loran and Ulster?
I was already planning on doing that. What shall I say?
Beautiful. And
Great.
Neff, what did you roll through?
A 16 on insight. I just want to know
You believe
if this
everything
Carol
that's wrong.
person is telling the truth.
Carol, well, funnily enough,
That's a flashback to the Hells.
Carol seems to be completely honest. Unfortunately, you can't really get a read on Gerald, but you believe that they are. You believe they are a good actor. That at least they're being earnest about.
Okay.
Yeah. I do want to say, Gerald is a master of impressions. I do think he's just really freaking tired, and it was also really funny for him to be bad at it. But anyway.
It would
moving on.
also seem
You
bad
want-
compared to us who spent like adventuring with Ulster consistently for a while.
I'm
Exactly.
irreplaceable.
Exactly.
I remember all of that very clearly.
Yeah. Now, two of you
Travelled
want
with
to
us for a
send
very-
message to the real Ulster on the man.
Sorry, what did you? I think I missed the start of
You guys wanted to
that.
send a message to the real Ulster on the man?
Oh,
Hold on.
right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Where are ya?
The real Ulster and Loran. Please stand up. Please stand up.
So, what would Cass like to say?
Where are you bitches? I don't come to this plane often.
Celia doesn't give that word for word.
Can we give like a split message? Part of it's from Cass, part of it's from someone else.
Yeah, I mean, Celia hasn't sent the message. She's just kind of, tracing the sigil, like waiting to apply the message.
Luhava, where are you beautiful individuals?
beeping noises.
We miss you. Hope you're okay.
Also, for your thing, Cass now has like quite a curly mullet, and it's threaded through with lots of flowers.
Lovely.
Cool.
Can I check? Are you sending that to Ulster or are you sending it to the man?
Celia sends one to Loran, trying to continue rebuilding that bridge.
Okay.
She says, we were invited to Eldrelith, and your replacements don't do you justice. We would love to see you.
That's good. You have a good way of phrasing things.
After a moment.
Cass is like, that is not what I said.
Celia took what y'all said and summarized it and sent it, not saying what she actually sent out loud.
Loran says,
Okay.
we were tied down with work here, but would like to be involved. I will be in touch with Gerald throughout this meeting, whatever happens with Sir Elleras. But I will open a doorway for you to come to us immediately afterwards. Does that sound good? Could be a tea break. Okay. Sure thing.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. At which point, Loran, just briefly taking the scene over there, turns to you also and says, fancy going to meet Sir Elleras after all, or would you like to wait?
I'm just gonna mute for a second. Ulster he is seated and he's kind of looking across the room. I don't feel comfortable leaving her yet. You can bring them here, if they can find their way.
Loran smiles and says, let's be kind to them.
Always.
Sound like a super villain. Anyway. As you all head to Sir Elleras' mansion, we'll take a quick tea break.
Sounds good.
Cool. So if we come back in about 10 minutes, and then we'll play for a little bit more, and then we'll wrap up for this eve.
Cool.
I believe in you.
Wrong button.
Wrong button, Aelin. Ah!
No,
Yeah.
it's the right one. I promise.
Are we good?
I fell down a hole. What was that for?
Did we do it? Okay, cool. Next,
That's me.
as you follow the rest of the party into Sorella Rass's mansion, you feel a
Great.
strange kind of weight get pulled off your shoulders,
My backpack.
as if something has been crouching on you this whole time.
What? Okay.
But then when you look around, you don't see anything behind you.
It's a bit scary.
Mm.
I think Neff knows.
Bluey, what do you see?
How long has Neff felt this weight on her shoulders?
Let's do a flashback. As the two of you make eye contact, you go back in time. Nay, you travel back through your newly crafted memories. Nefel, Karadamanyazar, Bluey Sparks. You two had decided to go to the temples. You made a route on a map, and you decided the way to hit them all best was to start with the Temple of Death, head to the ruins of the Temple of Life, and then return to the facility at the Temple of Law and Learning. This is a fair amount of time into your travels, but not, Bluey, before you'd given up your sword. Let's put it at the 4 months mark. How's that? Neff,
Yes.
as you crest over the cliff tops, you look down and you see a winding path, which you know in your heart must be familiar, but don't fully remember it. And in front of you, you see the half-shattered dome and the large sand build-up rising against them, sort of slanting the walls of the Winter Palace. Bluey, you see this too, and the two of you have reached the first destination. As you stand there, you see a figure walking up to meet you. And you kind of go down. You hear an ominous mewling. You see a figure walking out of the palace to meet you, and you begin to descend the cliff face down the very steep pathways, and you meet a small drow girl in a white dress with tattoos on her arms and all white eyes and long white hair. And she looks at you and she says, "Oh my goodness, you came back."
Hello, fella.
Hello.
Bluey Spark, Bluey and Neff.
That's us.
What's wrong? Has something happened on your quest? Where are the others? Did they? And a dark look comes over. No, I would have known if they'd died. They didn't die, did they?
Well, like you said, you probably would have known.
That's right. Yeah,
I mean, one of them died very shortly.
I know. I think he knows.
I'll have to wait and see how he goes. Anyway.
He's not happy. I'm going to warn you that I'm not. He's not happy at all.
That's okay. I'm happy enough for the both of us.
I'm glad. And she comes and she gives you a big hug, Neff, and that hug tightens and tightens until you feel one of your ribs click. And then Father releases you and holds your hands, and she says, "Come on, let's go inside. I don't think you should keep him waiting any longer."
I think you fractured my ribcage.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh. Okay.
And then she kind of releases you and then holds your hand, Bluey, and just swings it back and forth. You feel your knuckles crunch slightly at points.
Does a bit of like just a bit of painite chip off?
Yeah, sure, a tiny chip. And she looks down and she says, "What's that?
Oh, it's my new arms.
Can I have that piece?"
I look. It's kind of it's part of me. I think I prefer to keep it, if that's all right.
I think I'd prefer to keep it.
But I had it first.
I'll trade you for it.
Neff, what do you think?
I
Should
want
I
to
keep
have.
this bit of my arm?
I mean, if it was my arm, I would want to keep it. But it's your arm, so you do as you please.
You were able to regrow it, and there was no problem. So I think I'm going to keep it. And hey, I'll give you this in return. She pulls out a knife and starts shelling at her fingernail.
Oh, no. I'm keeping that. Sorry. No, I don't want that. Sorry. No.
Are you sure we can trade? I'm happy to do it.
That's okay, I'll keep it instead.
Okay. There's a sort of spurt of blood, and then she passes you her nail. Thank you.
Rare ingredients.
That's funny. Anyway. Oh, lots of blood in my mouth now. And she starts accidentally smearing blood around her mouth. I'm sorry, I must look really unsightly. And she rubs it on her white dress. Sorry, let me bind that up. And she tears a bit of her dress and binds her thumb. And she picks up your little scale, Bluey, and puts it in her pocket and says, "Thanks."
I thought.
What?
I thought I was going to grab that and.
No. I already paid for it.
Did we just get robbed?
Yeah, I think so. Neff, what's your passive perception?
It's not good. My passive perception is 13.
Bluey, with your passive perception of 18, as you kind of go like, "Oh, I thought I was going to keep that." You look at Fala's shadow as it falls upon the halls of the Winter Palace, and you see it's much larger, feathered, and four-legged than it should be.
I'm guessing Jeebakari's right around, just right here, very close.
Yeah, so he's been working on sending me further and further away, whilst also being in my mind, to see whether or not it's possible for him to move in a human form. And it's been going quite successfully so far. But I do kind of forget myself sometimes, so I'm sorry if I ever come off weird.
No, that's all right.
Okay. Off we go. And she kind of does a better All-Star impression than Gerald did, and no, I'm joking. And walks ahead of you until she disappears into shadow, which shouldn't frankly be possible because it is early afternoon, but it happens anyway. And you walk through the corridor into the atrium where there was that raised dais and that pit in the ground. And Neff, the pit is filled with that black ink-like substance, and the two of you stand on the edge of it. And before you can even wonder about what you should do next, the water splashes and writhes, and two arms come forwards, and Jeebakari unfolds himself, and he says, "Nefel, Kuradaman, Yaza. How many months has this been now?"
A few.
A few. I need acolytes, representatives, and you neglect me who has helped you.
Well, I have been spreading the word. I handed out all of the business cards.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. I think she would have done it. I think she would have just
Sure.
left them at doorsteps and stuff.
Nice.
She would have run out, probably, but...
You left business cards.
Uh-huh.
So why have none come to my door?
I think we need to redesign our business cards. Maybe a different font. We could use Helvetica. I hear that's popular.
Insolent creature.
How have you been?
I have been waiting for you.
Well, it's a good thing I'm here in that case now.
And you expect to let me let you leave.
I've learned to come into these interactions with no expectations.
But what about your friend?
Oh, I can't speak for Blue's expectations.
I sense power upon her skin. I sense something old like me growing upon her. Perhaps you brought her here to make up for all of the disciples you've yet to bring through my door.
I think. Sorry, hi, Jibakari. I do want to bring up. I think Neff's really been going through it, and it's. I think she hasn't been able to do her best work as usual. But I've been trying to help, and it's like she, I think she's.
Neff has
if
been
you're doing
going through it. Excuse me, I did not know. Do you not think I felt it as she passed through the sea? The dark.
I'm sure you felt that. I think it's just after that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Neff. I feel like you had to maybe take a step away from the death duties and more towards the memory retrieval, and also taking a break and resting. You know what? I feel like rest is important. How about that?
That's true. I forgot to file the 6 days, but what Blue says is correct.
I think Bluey stands up a little bit taller as she's doing that. Like,
Lily, make me a persuasion check, please.
Neff is small. I'm
you can both
just
roll.
behind Blue right now.
One of you, both of you roll, and we'll take the higher.
Were we
Okay.
rolling?
Persuasion.
Persuasion? Okay. 14.
Plus 0. 3.
Oh.
Wait, does Bluey still have her sword?
Oh,
Yes.
I do. Hang on. Wait. Well, this is a check. Oh, but I would have. Let's just
Rolling
see.
foresight, you would have done it.
That's an unnatural 20, and Bluey is
Ooh.
going to use it in that moment. That's
Oh my god. You are brave, he says this to you, Bluey. To stand up to a creature like I. But I suppose you, given your condition, feel powerful. You hold Asalios' sword. Your arms are armored. Fine. I accept your sick leave.
Thank you.
But trust when I say that you will get no paid holiday this year.
That's okay. Don't worry. I'll work twice as hard, Jubakari. We're gonna hand out 3 times as many business cards.
30 souls.
Come again?
30 souls. That is how many I want.
That's including mine, of course, right?
29 souls.
Okay.
You have until the next time skip.
Ooh, okay.
2 months.
I haven't 100% decided how long it's going to be.
Okay, right.
You've got it, Chibukari. 29 souls. Coming right up, nice and fresh.
Now get out of my sight.
Okay.
Father, show them out.
Neff will scurry out like a beetle.
Oh, but wait, Neff.
Yeah, that's me.
And Bakari puts a paw on your shoulder and
Ooh.
grips tight. Rest assured, I'll be watching you, making sure you do the work.
Don't worry, there won't be any resting. I can assure you of that.
And as you leave Bakari's chamber, you don't feel that paw leave. You feel the weight on your shoulders. One more detail. When you do leave, Fowler escorts you out. Just before you get out of earshot, she says, "Wait, F.
Yes.
One thing I forgot to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Astral Sea?
Yes.
Where you went to look for Osha?
Yes.
It is actually like a sea, you understand? Like an ocean.
What do you mean?
Well, let's take the sea between Kalkan and Aprea.
Uh-huh.
There's land on one side and there's land on the other, and there's the sea in between, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which would suggest that beyond the Astral Sea there's something else. Which even we don't know what that is.
Like an astral island?
Some see it like an island, like Elysium or an afterlife. Some see it as another world of dreams. Some see it as a shadow. It's hard to say.
How do I get there?
Well, regardless, it's true that some people through the sea can reach a shore, whatever shore that is.
Okay.
That's why it's called Air Shora.
Oh.
Oh.
A haven between the tides of the plains. But I can feel people moving through there because of my connection with Jibakari.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've been looking for Osha.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you what it means because I've told you this before, our dominion, it's only the passage through the sea.
Mm-hmm.
But Osha's not there anymore.
Okay.
But she's not here either.
Okay.
I don't know if you can still help Osha, but
I
you
will
won't be able to
try
find her
even if
dead
it kills me.
Don't do that. He won't let you go if you do. If it does,
We'll see.
I know. Look what happened to me.
But you look like you're doing well for yourself.
Right. Okay, Neff. Oh, And tell your friend with the white hair.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell him he's swimming in the wrong direction.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you, fella.
Bye, Marie. Bye. Bye. Give me more of your scales next time you come back. Bye. I can give you more nails. They grow back.
Oh, no, thanks, fella. But I would love your company.
Okay. Okay, bye. And you pull out the flashback and you guys just stare at each other like, huh. And Neff waits on your shoulders.
Mhm.
You seem different.
I feel a little different.
As you walk inside, Cass, there is more food. Slia, you see Sorelleras with a table full. But it's not the usual table. It's not the usual table by the fire. It's set up just on the other side of the room, and in front of the fire, there is a covered sheet over what looks like something pointy or sharp. And Sorelleras hasn't made any mention of that yet, but has instead ushered you to take some food. And Sorelleras says, I'm glad most of you could make it, though there are some uninvited here. Hello. I know I let you have the run of my house once, but this does not concern you, so you may leave. Actually, no, you can stay, because I like you and I think you're funny.
Sorry, is Sorelleras talking to someone in particular, or?
Dural and Karul. And Dural says, yeah, I thought we were friends, so I was hoping we would be able to catch up regardless, but okay. And Karul says, I do not care. I really do not care. I came here as a favour to him. And Dural points the back and says, wait, no, you came here because it was... Karul rolls his eyes. The right thing to do, to help someone out. He's getting better.
When a friend asks for help, you help them. So what can we help you with, Sorelleras?
Also, George, you were muted just then, so I didn't hear what you said.
Cass claps sarcastically.
Wonderful. To respond to you, Slia, Sorelleras puts down the goat bruschetta that he was eating, and they waft over to the fire and motion for you to sit, whilst pouring glasses of wine for each of you. And he says, I have something that might interest you, and I assume that you will have something that would be of interest to me. So I'm here to propose a swap, which I'm sure would benefit everyone. Well, except for them. And he points at the table. Oh, let me show you.
Okay.
They pull back the sheet with one swish, and on the table, you see a very well-crafted, yet destroyed, intentionally or otherwise, diorama of Eldrith's watch in miniature. Absolutely perfect. Right down to the scale, right down to the materials, right down to the weird black mold that was growing on everything whilst it was in the Shadowfell. And Sorelleras says, I picked this up for you. You'll see it's been torn straight out of the earth. I thought that was quite the organic touch.
Cass is gonna roll. I'm gonna do an Arcana check on it.
Okay.
Can Slia do an insight
21.
check?
What was that, Slia?
Can Slia do an insight check to see what Srelaras might be driving at?
Yeah, sure. And then Cass, I'll tell you. And Blue, what did you get?
I would like to make a nature check to check if it was literally soil torn up. But like the soil, does the soil look small? Like
For sure.
that's a 0. Sorry, that's a 3. That's a 3.
A 0.
3.
It's hard to say. You just kind of stare at it like, is that styrofoam?
Wow, the craftsmanship.
I'm going to give you 2 answers. Number 1 is Cass. There is a very intense transmutation magic on this diorama. And Slia,
26?
when you look at it, it's so realistic. And just before Srelaras begins to explain, you realize what it is. This is Eldrelith's watch. I retrieved it from the Shadowfell myself. As a thank you, I suppose, but also because I needed a little something from you.
What do you want?
Oh, like I said in my letter, Picarus Teronium. No one knows where he
Oh.
is. And
Oh,
wish to
Casta
hear him.
puts down her tapenade and starts like, and like pats her back like, fuck, how did we forget? We're bad people.
I forgot to make the bag.
Yeah, he's been chilling with me for the entire time,
Whilst conscious.
but not really chilling with me.
So he's been in the bag for, you say, about a month
Cass
and a
is
half.
gonna like open the bag and just like look in and be like, Pico, are you okay?
And just like pulls up, starts crawling like grudge style, unfolding itself. Actually, no, more like the clown from It, unfolding itself from the bag, and just like sloppily, it just falls out like, oh.
He doesn't need to breathe.
Hey.
Hi. Hi. And they just grunts like, ugh. And Srelaras claps. Wonderful, located. You might not actually want to have him out whilst I describe what's happened here. And he points at Eldrith's watch, because that could distress an already fragile potential weapon zombie.
Yeah, okay. Who had the locket last?
Who had the locket?
Yeah, who had the locket last?
Also would have it. Also would have it.
I thought so.
Tell you what, Gerald, would you help Pico lie down? And Gerald appears with a gurney and just starts wheeling it forwards. We have this for emergencies and other things.
What are the other things?
Pulls Pico up and says to
Blue
the
would like
morgue.
to help.
No, infirmary.
You have a morgue?
Of course we have a morgue. Who doesn't? And Gerald wheels it away.
Where?
Sorry, bye,
Did you say
Pico.
infirmary. I said inferno.
Heading to the 9 layers.
Amateur.
And as he wheels him away, Srelaras leans forward and says, "Yes, so this is Eldrelith's watch. I plucked it from the Shadowfell, along with its inhabitants, most of whom did not survive the journey, but the few humans that did, I am working on restoring an aspect of their soul so that they might live in some way on this material plane. and I'm offering to place it back on this plane for you.
And why do you want Pico?
Because people have been asking for him.
Yeah, but why do you want him? Just because they've been asking? Or is it that they're asking and they've exchanged a favour for Pico? Is that what's happening?
The way I see it, if I'm in control of the goods, then I have the upper hand in my negotiations for other clients. So having Pico is in my interests, and now I have him. So as thanks, I'm giving you Eldrelith's watch.
Okay.
I
Well-
thought you would have wanted it back.
Yeah, no, I think it should go back. Are they so Cass is gonna like bend down and like look into the castle and Eldrelith's watch and just sort of try and see people. Should I do an investigation check to see if I can see anyone?
Yes.
What's my investigation? Dirty 20.
The smushed spot where Shrekimus used to be.
Oh no.
Like a mosquito.
Have you told Quinny that?
No,
You can break it to her in person.
I will.
Cass, okay. Cass is gonna like look at it and feel like a twinge of not sadness, but a little bit of like,
Oh,
Um,
fine.
and then she's just gonna be like, "Are they okay? How long were they in the Shadowfell? Are they like
they're not
functioning?"
okay. No. There's
No.
there's like I said, those souls that I was able to bring back alive. I have pulled them aside. They are also in the infirmary, which I had to extend very far. And I am sorting them out.
Okay. And the black mold, is that a problem?
I believe it is simply shadow stuff, no more dangerous than Geral's own magic. That's right, Geral. And Geral's like, okay,
Yeah, that
fine.
response does not evoke a lot of confidence, I'm gonna say.
Regardless, it's here, and should you wish to reinstate it, you may. If you
I
wish
think
to
we
not,
should, but not until we know it's safe. Don't turn to magnify and release any other issues into a prayer.
fair enough. Well, I'll box it up for you, and you can keep it and do with it what you like. Give me a moment. And he places the sheet over the top, folds it underneath, and then
Before you do that, can Cass Arcana check
Same.
the black mold?
Sure.
That one is better. That is a 26.
And a 30.
Ooh.
So you're Arcana checking the black mold exclusively. Aidan, were you hoping to Arcana check anything else?
Like I guess, if possible, the whole of the structure.
Sure. Yeah, so the whole structure is just drenched in magic. The same kind of magic you felt in the Shadowfell. But you get the impression with a 30, the longer it spends here, the more accustomed it is becoming to this kind of environment. So most of the like mellifluous magic is kind of dying off, or being neutralized. On top of that, Cass, you also kind of get this side of the information, that the black mold, it could be dangerous, but in its current state, it just is. It's as dangerous as the elements for like TNT. You know, it's not an actual explosive, but it could be used to make something dangerous. It's less of an actual danger and more of a compound.
If I get a container, can I try and like scrape it off and put it in a container?
Yeah, you can.
Can I try and basically get it off Eldrelith and away from it? Because if it can be made into an explosive, and then we make the entire, we like make it much bigger, that's quite a lot of material across the city, which is probably not a good idea.
You won't have time necessarily to do this right now, but you can make that a project for yourself. So you scrape off a little bit, just to see if it can come off. Make me a dexterity check.
Not my strong suit. So, let's have a look.
If
Ooh, no, a really, really bad. That was a 2, so a 4.
A 4.
No, I lie. A 3. A 3.
You go to like scratch off a side of what kind of building would you be looking at?
Probably an unimportant one, like a little shack. If there's black mold on a little shack.
Yeah.
There's no one in this now, is there? Because they've all been taken out.
Yeah, anyone who survived. Yeah, so you reach out to a little shack and you just crush it. It just crumbles to powder the moment you touch it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Cass sweeps the powder off.
Look, I'm very interested in this little thing. I would maybe recommend taking this to Loran or letting Droll have a go at it later.
Yeah, Cass is just gonna like slide it over to Doral and be like, "That's not my forte. If you need to crush it, give me a call."
Okay. I don't feel comfortable doing this here. I need to set up a space to work.
Okay.
I mean, should we bring this out to the actual spot, or is that our sort of
Maybe not yet.
But my thought was that you would, discuss amongst yourselves what to do with it once it was at your peak desires. You would then return it. So if you want to remove black moles, then you can do that as you wish. But anyway, I'm done with you all now, so I'm going to pack this up and send you on your way. And Sorelaras starts packing up the box, puts a little drape over it, and once it is all contained, presses the lock, and it shrinks down to the size of a matchbox.
So very Ant-Man of you.
Precisely. So this is that. And when you're ready for Eldrelith to return to a larger size, he pulls out a key. Turn once for the next size up, which is what you just saw. Twice for like knee high. And then 3 times is back to full size. Make sure there's nobody around it when that happens. Or someone who can escape very quickly.
I could do
That's
that.
a draw.
Louis, you could also do this. So, you were given the box. Sorelaras smiles and says, "Thank you. I have everything I need. Good to see you all again. Take some tapenade all the way home and tell Ulster and Loran I said hi."
Okay.
Cass scoops up loads of jars of tapenade and leaves.
What's funny is when you leave Sorelaras' mansion, you expect to go back outside. But there's only the briefest hint of the outdoors from whence you came before you feel yourself falling through another portal. And falling is the right word for it because there is no floor on the other side. You fall forwards and, with a rush of wind, slide down what appears to be a shaft, wide and tall enough for someone to stand in, but carved out more like a slide. And then you roll to a stop. All of you kind of like bouncing into each other. In the middle of a huge crystalline fortress, which you, of course, recognize as being Yin.
Yin.
Now,
What's up with Yin again? I've forgotten. Is Yin's the place where the polar bear was that was found?
King's
The-
Trials.
Yeah, I was gonna say the place in the King's Trials.
Right. Yes.
As you slide to a halt, you see a tall figure well, not tall, averagely heighted figure, with long red hair, wearing a long billowing robe, just gently secured at the front over some just very casual trousers, and very nice laced up boots. Smile at you all and say, "It took you long enough." But hello, my friends. Yes, it is I, Loran Beaumont-de-Haye, the man himself. Now, what did Sir want? It doesn't matter. You can tell me on the way.
Cass is gonna punch Loran on the arm and say hi, and then go off to find Ulster and the babies.
I wasn't expecting to see you here. I'm glad. And Neff, you brought someone with you. And Neff, you feel that weight on your shoulder again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can't be having outsiders here. And he flicks a wrist, and you feel a warmth kind of rush over you, and yet again, that weight is rolled off.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. Come along now, friends.
Okay. Nev, you were wobbly just then, and now you're not?
Don't worry about it. Everything is okay, I think. I still have the business cards.
Most importantly, I have the business cards. Businessman Richards with his business card.
When you walk along with Loran, in his face, he's putting on his usual air of importance and ego and whatnot. But he does look tired. There are bags under his eyes, and it's clear, you know, this is more so than what you would get from just having a kid around, especially two.
Are you okay, Loran?
Never better. I've just been very busy with, you know, my kingly duties.
Can I
But,
insight check that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
17.
Mm.
90.
27. I keep rolling 16s on different dice.
Very
He
nice.
looks about as bad as he did about a week after him casting the bush spell.
Oh dear.
So he kind of wanders, just kind of like sauntering down. And it is not long until you are in the main kind of like dome sort of entryway of Yin. And where once it was completely open to the heavens, there is now just like a fog cloud that kind of hangs over. And you can see the staircase has been reconstructed and it spirals up into the fog. Whether there's construction going on up there, whether it's finished, it's hard to say. But it looks like also has stilled the tempest that constantly pervades around Yin for the moment. At least whilst the fortifications are ongoing. And Loran says, "You don't have to go up there. He's down here. In case you were worried about everything, having to go through all those trials again." And Loran walks forwards, and you see, sitting in front of a sort of curtained alcove with a sort of marble-looking slab beyond it, and a figure kind of lying down. Ulster is just sort of sitting there, looking forwards. Behind the curtain, another figure is moving back and forth. A figure you can't really recognise. They're all obscured by this layer of fabric, but Ulster is kind of fixed on it. And Loran walks over to him and just laces his hands around his shoulders and gives him a kiss on the head. And then goes over to a little cot which has two little babes kind of rocking together in it, enchanted to keep moving back and forth.
Cass immediately goes over to the babies.
Yeah. Ulster, you
Actually,
hear the sound
no.
of people.
She'll go to Brian first.
Yeah.
To check that he's okay, and then she'll go to the babies.
Sorry we couldn't meet you ourselves. We had to send replacements.
Is everything okay?
Paul says, "Is that all I am to you?" And Loran says, "Yes."
I see you more as a court jester, really.
They're all laughs.
What news?
Cirilla
We gave
has
Pico
Pico
Taro to Cirilla, and we now have Eldrellis watch, and it's the size of a matchbox.
Interesting magic. I'll have to study that.
It's not really my area of expertise, but
It's mine. Don't you worry.
you gave Pico Taro to Cirilla. Did Cirilla say what they wanted with him?
Not really, but we'd kind of forgotten about him, and he's been in my bag for me a month. I don't know how long it's been for you guys. Looks at the children, quite a long time. So I kind of was. It just, you know. Yeah, at the end of the day, I have no idea what I would do with Pico Taro. So
That seems like it might
no
come
one
up
else.
later as a concern, but
Yeah,
it's not
quite
really
likely.
our plan.
I'll be on the
No,
continent most of the time. So.
We'll cross that bridge if we have to come to it.
Nephew looks squashed.
That's just because I'm short.
Yeah. You haven't had some great calamity like a Tarask stepping on you, have you?
Not that I'm aware of, but for all I know, I might have forgotten that sort of event.
I had a sexy dream like that once.
I'm not going to question that.
I am. What do you mean?
Who do you think was the correct? He looks at Ulster.
I
I don't think I
understand.
can turn into a Tarask.
In the dream, you could.
I
I've
have
never
only
tried
regrets.
I don't think. Not that I don't think you could turn into a Tarask. I just don't think that you'd forget an encounter with one, really.
It would be quite devastating.
it. I've never really seen one, so. Although I have seen images, so perhaps I could model something close to one with enough practice.
Anyway, I suppose you're all wondering what the hell is going on here.
Oh, yes. Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cass has
So-
the babies now, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, so we've been using Dural and Carol to kind of get some extra work done on the side. Carol less so, Dural more so. But I have also been taking the place of Ulster occasionally.
He does a fairly good impression.
He spins around and shortens and becomes at once Ulster. Hello, friends. No, it's funny. And then he becomes Loran again. I don't want to do that.
I find it
Some magic. But anyway, well, Ulster, you've been rebuilding.
Oh, yes. Well, you probably all know where we are, considering we had a very big life experience here. This is Yeen, or rather, it was what was left of Yeen, and now it is New Yeen. I've been excavating.
He's a regular archaeologist. We're thinking new center of civilization for the Lachey.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, so this place is massive. You'll have to have a walk later, although I cannot promise that I will not lose you. I suppose if you don't stray too far, I can find you, but I would recommend a group tour. Also, kind of stands up. But most exciting, I've been working on a new project, and I would love to show all of you, provided you tell absolutely no one.
Deal.
Deal?
You pull apart the curtain.
He will, yeah.
Okay.
Ulster pulls aside the curtain, and beyond the table, Cass is a figure that you recognize specifically. Everyone else, you've never seen this person before. On the marble table is a tall woman, roughly 8 foot in height, with very messy, long, kind of yellow-white hair. Pale skin, and an expression on her face as though she is in a deep, deep sleep. Similar to that Ender was in when he was waiting for his soul to be returned to him. Cass, you've fought this person before, and it almost takes you a moment to remember. This was years ago in Campaign 1, in the grasses, when you fought against Shu in her human form. And Moran smiles and says, as you can see, and he points to some carvings that are kind of glowing beneath her head. I have been working on reigniting the humanity. And also, and he shows like some more like runish kind of markings around the edge of the body, and some even like drawn onto the body. Has been working on the transfiguration of the body. And the other figure in the room has had her back to you this whole time, also white-haired, with her bun kind of tied up on top of her head, turns around.
It's like children of the corn in this place.
Yeah. And you recognize Baitan, the cleric who you met in the
The
my God,
Feywild
what?
City, right? It's
Viserys.
Viserys. Who am I?
the
Who am
Seyros,
I?
yeah.
My brain is overflowing with knowledge. Viserys. And who actually initially helped remake bodies for many of your friends, Marlena, Merlin, and Ender included. And she turns around and she says, we're in the business of bringing the Lachey back to their true forms, those that still remain at least. And reaching out to those Lachey, however thin their blood, who still remain in the world.
Wow.
With Ulster's assistance, this will become somewhere for the Lachey to gather and reflect on their culture and history, and perhaps begin again.
Indeed.
Amazing.
Holy shit.
I had the same reaction.
It's quite difficult, really.
You also notice that Ulster has only gotten up from his chair once, and when he did, to pull aside the curtain, and when he did, it was with Loran's support under his arm, and his legs are shaking a little thinner than usual, which you know to be the mark of him overusing his magic. Whatever has happened here, restoring Shu to this state, has taken a large toll on them both, and would probably explain why they weren't so eager to make a cross-country trip to Serena. I think anyone with passive insight over 14 could figure that out.
Are you Okay. This has clearly drained you both. Will you recover well?
Most likely.
I'm fine. I just need sleep, which isn't helped by. He points to the two children.
I have been mostly watching them. But yes, I should give it a couple more weeks and we should be able to return to the palace.
And what's so secretive about this project?
Lucas knows that we've been taking some time out to do this. He knows about the different All-Stairs standing in place whilst we do this, just so that he can still have a presence.
There are about 3 or 4 of me now. 3.
You, Dural, and me.
The 4th one then just must be a figment of my imagination. That was a joke.
Loran smiles and looks pleased. It's fine. He adds, Lucas just doesn't know how much of a time commitment this has been.
Nor does he necessarily understand the magic we're using. It's not really in the books.
He's
the
more
histories.
in Louis' vein of expertise, which I'm sure you can attest to. He does have magics himself, very narrow ones.
It would take him 8 years to carve out a room, but we've managed to excavate most of this place in...
Don't be mean, Mister.
I'm not being mean, I'm being accurate.
Accuracy can be mean. Some people like to be lied to make themselves feel better.
I'm sure Lucas could make a room with enough time.
Stop talking. He's not here. What does it matter?
She should wake up
Eventually.
presently. Eventually.
And so how much time do you think has passed?
You told me 3 weeks, so 2 weeks.
Sorry, is this person on the table woken up?
This is Shu.
She is not woken up. She is in a deep sleep.
Shu.
Oh.
Yes, I constructed a flesh body for her, and Loran has been working out how to connect the soul to the flesh and the synapses. It's very complicated. I've only really been in the business of reuniting already existing flesh with souls that had recently been deceased. But this is a bit of a different practice, and it's been a bit hit and miss.
Creating a simulacrum is easy. For us, for me. Creating an entire new body with functioning organs, a little harder. A little. He looks at your stare like, ooh. The synapses of the brain, especially when they've been disconnected for this long, they need time.
As for the matter of speech, that might take even longer.
But that is not a necessity.
No, not necessarily. I can still hear her, so that was kind of the touch and go thing.
And I have a feeling that if we ask a linguist, and he looks at Sleer and winks, we might be able to figure out an interim or permanent solution.
She does growl a lot.
I was thinking more like hands.
Sign language, yes. Although Sleer might not know the Messian dialect, I will have to fetch some books for you.
I've begun to learn, but not completed my studies.
Understood. You're all welcome to stay here, although we don't have many furnished rooms. You would have to find a little cave and make it your own.
Loran says, also perhaps it's time seeing as we have so many guests, we head back to the Ice Palace, update Lucas, and perhaps he looks over at Neff. Neff wants to meet her niece or nephew.
Yeah. I would probably need Gerald to cover any official appearances. I don't really want to give the impression that I am still ill to the people. That would not be good.
Droll nods and then looks at the rest of you with a scowl. Believe it or not, I am actually good at doing his impression. It was just with Carol there, he was not on my A game and he was really annoying.
I'll be really honest as well. He was really embarrassed to do the performance in front of you, Slia. He has very high expectations.
Ulster.
I did
Ryan
spot it
smiled.
almost immediately.
I thought you
Yes,
might.
it was quite obvious.
And how about him? No one can be me, can they?
Well, he's done quite a good job, really.
Ulster, where do you want to sleep tonight? The floor or the couch?
I have like many beds to choose from.
You only have those two options. I'll burn your other beds.
I need to sleep in a bed.
Oh.
Otherwise,
I to be recognised as the one, the only, the best Loran game on day. I'm sure we can fix this for each other.
also looked like he tuned out of the conversation for a solid 5 seconds. He comes back to himself like,
Do you know what? I'm too tired for this. Let's go. Neff, there's a little one you need to meet.
where's Saraza?
I want to meet the bean.
Oh, yeah. Oops, I forgot him. I'm sorry. Can I go to the toilet?
I'm actually going to go.
I was wondering where Sarazer was in the dragon house, but
Yeah, same. But I was also like, sure, there's a reason.
yeah,
He's been having a mad siesta.
he slept
Sometimes
in, he
the
didn't
cake
show up.
needs to rest.
Bluey throughout this is remembering Father saying, "Tell Brian that he's swimming in the wrong direction." I'll put that out there so that it's like, Neff.
Tell Emma when she gets back that you're going to say it.
If Bluey wants to, Neff won't stop her.
Okay. Oh boy. That's quite a project.
I'm also going to need to head to bed soon. It's quite late and I don't want too much screen time.
It's 11, coming up to 11:30.
Yeah.
Okay. No. I think I can see that the light in your room, Thomas, has changed to like is there sunlight coming in and it's also the
creeping
blue
in, yeah.
light? Okay.
It's creeping in slowly because when I started, it was completely dark, or at least it was dark outside. But now it's lighting up in here.
I've had the opposite problem. It has gotten dark outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow. Isn't it neat how the globe works and how we're all in different parts on it?
Fascinating.
Oh.
I think it seems like my environment is lighter than yours, at least today, Thomas.
I've got
Like
the
at
blinds
6:30.
down.
Oh, okay, right.
That's why I'm.
Hello.
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 We'll need to head off soon because it's quite late and I don't want to
I'm going to finish this and then we'll off. So,
Bluey does have something to say, but I'm sure. Wait.
Who has something to, oh, Bluey, what would you like to say?
Oh, to Brian. Fala. Neff and I briefly met up with her. She said you might be swimming in the wrong direction in the astral sea. I don't quite know either.
I haven't been swimming at all recently.
she's
In fact, I
very-
haven't really looked at this plane much either.
Okay, I'm sure she meant well, and I'm sure she knows something.
Maybe it's a metaphor. I will have to ponder the meaning at length. Now, if we are going back to the palace, I will need to be carried. He looks between every single one of you. Doral.
Excuse me. I think Blue should do it.
I think Doral should carry me.
Blue, will you carry me whilst I carry?
No, I want to be carried by Doral.
He shrugs.
So can I
and points
carry
to
Jerome?
I want to be carried by Doral.
Okay, so Doral picks you up all stair and then braces to be picked up by Bluey. It's like a nesting doll.
I just like the way Doral smells.
I'm
very
sorry if I'm a
comforting.
bit stingy.
You smell fine.
Maybe it's my nose picking something up.
What do I smell like, Ulster?
Metal.
Oh, that's
The
very
lot of you. Uh-huh. You all follow Loran, except for Baitan.
Goodbye, Baitan. Bye, Baitan.
Bye bye.
Bye, Baitan.
Bye bye.
I do that every time. I think it's funny.
It's endearing, darling.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Bye, Tan.
Bye.
in darling.
And you guys follow Loran, and he leads you through not a slide this time, I'm afraid, but a very simple doorway, which opens up into Ulster and Loran's bedroom in the Ice Palace.
Don't know why people have so many doors into our bedroom. It seems like a bit of a safety hazard.
It's a huge room.
Quick
I
escape.
needed a lot of space as a child.
I'm going to say, just to save some time, that all of you travel through the Ice Palace and make your way towards Daniel and Lucas's tower. And when there, you see Sarasa, who has been spending this whole time helping Daniel look after her new child. And Daniel is just like zonked. With Lorella sitting at her side, massaging her feet. Lucas massaging her shoulders. And Sarasa holding the baby, along with multiple other kind of attendants who are just sort of like waiting at the door.
How does Sarah's always end up with the baby in his arms?
Hello to you too.
I think Sarah's wants a baby.
Kev, who is in the room washing blankets, scurries away.
Oh, hi, Kev. That was not a very good greeting, Kev.
Your Majesty. And he comes back. And then, and scurries away. Sarah stands up and first to Neff says, would you like to meet them?
Yeah, I would. Also, hi,
And,
Sarazer. And she'll give him a hug as well.
Hello. He ruffles your hair.
Her hair is now more ruffled than it's ever been.
Nice. There is a moment, and then he puts the little baby in your hands, and you look down, and she has a very light, pinky lavender hue to her skin,
Oh.
with white hair and little stubby horns,
Oh.
and all pronouns. So don't worry about how you refer to them.
Okay. Can I attempt
should
to
say-
make a funny face with like a charisma check or something?
Okay. He's yet to actually open his eyes. They're just kind of like.
Okay.
Mm.
Neff will make the funny face anyway. Is it 22? On the funny face.
grabs onto your horn as you hold her up to your face.
Does Neff still have horns?
Barely. Ah, your hair. Sorry, not your horn.
They were
barely
restored, I
scratched
think, by
Yeah,
Titania.
Titania gave you them back.
Yeah,
Oh, she got them. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
Neff has little baby horns as well. They're like teeny little ones.
But the
Yeah,
tongue seems to be too big for the baby's mouth. And Neff, she's really freaking cute.
Neff goes really close and she says,
So pink.
Jibakari.
Daniel says, "Shut up!" in her sleep.
Shut up.
Don't curse my child.
This is all very good.
Put
Lucas looks
Jarrell
over at you all stare. Yeah. Lucas looks over at you all stare and says, "Would you like to meet them?"
What is their name?
It's Percy's.
Percy's. Yes, Jarrell, put me down. Bluey, put Jarrell down.
Percy's.
Mhm.
And Jarrell puts you down.
Also immediately
Very
falls.
Oh, Loran manages to catch you.
Mm,
Like, zoom, across the room. I have you, darling.
yucky. He goes towards us.
You take Percy's out of Neff's hands. Loran helps you supporting the head of the baby.
Boo.
Roll me a d20.
15.
One eye just kind of like opens, and the baby, though the baby has Lucas's hair, has Daniel's eyes, which means they're completely just grey, like a light grey.
Oh, can they see?
Interesting. They look kind of like their eyes are kind of quivering a little bit, but like it's a baby, so it's like probably not grown into its vision just yet.
Also pokes its nose.
How hard?
Very softly. Baby. Very good with babies now. It's going to throw up soon. But it's just going to be bile because I don't really think it's consumed anything yet. He pats its stomach.
Daniel is just fully asleep. And Saraza says, he's not cried, actually. Not at all.
Can I insight check the baby?
Sure.
I would like to insight check the baby. Natural 20, 31.
Baby is evil.
The baby seems to be healthy, sleeping.
I press my ear against its head.
You hear nothing.
Even with a 31.
You hear its blood moving around its veins.
Good blood movement.
You hear a little baby heartbeat. You hear a little baby gagas. Like,
Your baby is fine.
even though she hasn't.
Baby's fine. Look, I didn't cry when I was born, and now look at me. Although I was born part dead. The baby is fine. Hands the baby back.
Lucas passes the baby to Sleer. Perhaps you can stay and watch for a while.
Well, I do need to get back home to my own, but
Just for an hour or two.
I can stay and
Sleer
watch her.
charges very high babysitting fees.
Neff, yes, you're also a cleric.
Yes, but Neff doesn't know what teeth and bones the difference is, so...
I do now because I've forgotten all of the misinformation that I learned initially.
I mean, Neff did miss the birth, so it's only natural that she would want to spend more time.
Lucas looks apprehensive, but then nods and says, "All right then, Neff. You've been allocated as nurse."
Can I go now?
Lucas looks a little bit offended.
I'm just really hungry. I would love a sandwich.
Loran says, "Why don't we rest and then we'll come back?" And Lucas says, "How long will you be? You were gone for quite a while this time."
Are you talking to me?
Yes, of course.
Around how long will we be?
Not sure.
5 minutes.
All right. I'll see you
Have a
soon.
quick rest.
5 hours later.
5 hours later.
As all of you gather around Daniel and the baby, we're going to pause the game for there.
Amazing.
So many babies, so little time.
Baby.
Baby.
If anybody else wants kids, let me know.
Neff would have also said hello and hugged your mum as well, just to add that in.
Yeah, and Cass will have relayed whatever it is that Titania said about.
We should do. Well, she hasn't said anything yet.
Okay, all right.
So we're going to do that in the next game. And do that
Okay,
scene.
no worries. Cool.
So that there are some things which we don't have to worry about.
When is the next game?
So the next game we haven't sorted out a time yet. Oh,
Yeah.
But they're coming at 12 for the men. No, I can't.